What's going on, everybody? Take a stab at a wait, no, that not possible. No. Say it ain't so. Student was not victim of racism for eating while black at 80K Smith College and made up details that ruined the lives of 4 campus workers and led to the controversial anti-bias training that employee resigned over. You're saying that somebody made up claims of racism in the United States? Eating while black? EWB. I don't know if I can get through this story. I'm shocked. All of you have to be shocked. This has got to be the first time in recorded history in the United States that this has happened. This has got to be the first. Well, it's historic since it has to be the first time, so let's read about it. Oumou Kanoute, and I definitely got that wrong, claimed she was targeted in July 2018 for eating while black. Kanoute, maybe I did get that right, Kanoute was a student at the $80,000 a year all-women Smith College. $80,000 a year! Woo! Talk about privilege to be able to afford a place like that. I could never afford a college like that. All women. I'd imagine that she would, in addition, somehow try to find a way to work sexism into this. She went into an empty cafeteria, which was reserved for summer school. Kanoute was seen by a janitor who reported someone in the closed canteen. He called security as he was told to, and another janitor arrived to speak with her. That night, Kanoute said on Facebook that she was made unwelcome at the school. She said the cafe worker was racist for informing her the room was closed. The cafe worker, who suffers from lupus, was hospitalized with stress. Oh, brilliant. Way to go. If that's true, way to go. Your hoax led to an individual with a disability being hospitalized. You must feel great about yourself. A janitor, who was not present during the incident, was forced from his job. Oh, okay. One in the hospital, one termination so far. Another teacher quit after forced seminars about unconscious bias. That's 3. Will there be an apology? Will those individuals get their jobs back? Will there be a lawsuit? Kanoute, a psychology undergraduate student, posted the video of the incident on social media and claimed that she was a victim of racism. The privilege some people have and the victimization that they use. Lives ruined. Thanks to a hoax. First time in history though, right? She named staff, one of whom was hospitalized with stress, and another janitor who was not present was forced from his job, which we learned about above. Kanoute said the security guard may have been carrying a lethal weapon when in fact he was unarmed. Oh, he had a gun now. Out here hunting down black people in the streets. Cafeteria. As a result, Smith forced employees to attend seminars about unconscious bias, with one staff member who disagreed with it quitting her job. Now that's standing up for your principles. That's an OG move right there. However, an independent law firm investigating the incident has now found that there was no evidence of wrongdoing and cleared all those involved. Payday, baby. Payday. 1. On the day of the incident, Kanoute, who was raised in New York after her family immigrated from Mali, was in an empty canteen that was reserved for a summer camp program for young children. Apparently, they're telling me that this is a lying scumbag right here. Here's a bit of a Facebook post. I am blown away at the fact that I cannot even sit down and eat lunch peacefully. Today, someone felt the need to call the police on me while I was sitting down reading and eating in a common room at Smith College. This person didn't try to bring their concerns forward to me, but instead decided to call the police. I did nothing wrong. I wasn't making any noise or bothering anyone. All I did was be black. It's so juicy. It's outrageous that some people questioned my being at Smith College and my existence overall as a woman of color. There it is. She worked in the woman and the color thing. I was very nervous and had a complete meltdown after this incident. She had such a meltdown, she was able to compose this Facebook post. It's just wrong and uncalled for. No student of color Should have to explain why they belong at prestigious white institutions, blah, blah, blah. What a disgusting pig. The 150-year-old women-only college, whose motto is audacity, agency, authenticity, charges $80,000 a year in fees. About 6.6% of Smith's more than 2,500 undergraduates identify as black, according to college data. 36.3% identify as a person of color. Jackie Blair, a veteran cafeteria employee, mentioned to Kanoute that it was reserved for the summer school, and then decided to drop it. According to the New York Times, a janitor who was in his 60s and poor of sight and had worked at Smith for 35 years was emptying garbage cans when he saw a figure reclining and eating alone in a far corner of the canteen, which was supposed to be closed. Campus police had advised staff to call security rather than confront strangers on their own, so the janitor called security. Imagine this wealthy college student doing this, and then the janitor hospitalized for stress. Another case of the wealthy elites, because who can afford $80K a year, or whose family, we're going to assume that this girl comes from great wealth, taking a dump on a normal person. He's just a janitor, emptying garbage cans. 35 years, that's his pride and joy. He does that for a living. That may be his very reason for existence. The thing he looks forward to that gets him through the day is a job well done, hard work, doing the nitty-gritty work that's really the backbone of this country. Then he gets a dump taken on him by some elitist. We've got a little video. Let's give it a look-see.
Oh, I was eating lunch. I'm working the summer program, so I was just relaxing on my couch. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually TA. Okay.
That's my one.
Alright. Yeah, it's okay. It's just like kind of stuff like this happens way too often where people just feel like threatened.
You like how she uses that language at the end. They feel threatened. Seems like somebody thinks really highly of themselves, that they're threatening. Now he is apologizing on behalf of the racist punk who called the police on me for absolutely nothing. Yeah, that 60-year-old janitor with bad eyesight and other physical conditions. Man, what a punk, man. What a racist punk. Playing every victimhood card that she could. And these are the most dangerous types of individuals. The individuals in our current society that have privilege, be that gender, identity, race, religion, that create this victimhood narrative for themselves. Always the victim. And the more victimhood points you got, that when these individuals realize that they can use those to manipulate their way through society, gain money, notoriety, followers, GoFundMes, those are the individuals that are really dangerous in our society because their voices are amplified. Their voices of hatred for those around us, just normal folk, just doing their job. That their hatred for those individuals is what makes them dangerous. And as I said, that amplified voice, because with the way this turned out, what's going to happen? Nothing. Who's going to read this story? Nobody. Who's going to care that there was no racism about it? Nobody. Is the mainstream media going to cover this en masse and say, you know what, we're wrong. All of these fake race hoaxes that we put out there, we want to come out and correct the record on those. We've been wrong so many times, and we like to admit that we just do it for money and fame, just like she's doing. When's that going to happen? I'm waiting to where that segment's run. Don Lemon, you running that something? They're going to talk about it on The View? All of this stuff? They're going to talk about all these fake hate crimes? Are they going to talk about all these fake race hoaxes that are out there? No, they won't, because it doesn't advance the narrative. The president of Smith College, Kathleen McCartney, responded the next day, I begin by offering the student involved my deepest apology that this incident occurred and to assure her that she belongs in all Smith places, as long as she pays that $80K a year. McCartney did not speak to the accused employees and put the janitor on paid leave that day. Blair, the cafeteria worker, was emailed by a reporter at the Boston Globe asking her why she called security on Kanoute for eating while black. Blair was surprised, as she said she had nothing to do with the call for security. The next day she discovered that Kanoute had posted her photograph, name, and email on Facebook, along with that of another janitor, Mark Patinude, a 21-year veteran of Smith College, who was not even on site at the time of the July 31st incident, doxed these individuals. She accused him of racist, cowardly acts. He left his job not long after. He wasn't even there. And her hoax forced him out. The level of destruction that these people create, they don't care. They don't care anything about it. All they care about is what they can get out of it. So here we go. We just keep racking them up. I was accused of being racist, Patinod told the New York Times. To be honest, that just knocked me out. I'm a 58-year-old male. We're supposed to be tough. But I suffered anxiety because of things in my past, and this brought it to a whole another level. He recalled going through multiple training sessions about race and intersectionality at Smith after the incident, which he said left workers cynical. He left his job shortly after. I don't know if I believe in white privilege, he said. I believe in money privilege. Bam, exactly. This individual used her privilege, every privilege she's been afforded, by just being a she and being a colored individual, to perpetrate a hoax and get several individuals fired, cause several individuals to have physical ailments because of it. Congratulations. So what's going to happen? For Blair, and she was the canteen worker, as they say here, she, if you recall, said she didn't have anything to do with the call. Stress exacerbated her lupus, and she checked into the hospital last year. She was vilified on social media and around campus. She tried to change jobs within the school, but the accusations of being a racist followed her. McCartney met with student government and black campus groups over tea to talk about the next steps the institution would take, such as the anti-bias training. McCartney had struggled to find the right tone in the stridently woke college. Here we go. On September 13, 2018, Kanoute upped the ante and wrote on the ACLU website, "This summer was racially profiled, an all too common experience for black people in America. But unlike most people who are targeted for simply existing in their skin, my story of harassment went viral. Congratulations." Students staged a mass walkout in support of Kanoute and urged Smith College to do more to combat what they claimed was widespread systemic racism at the school. It's systemic racism, the patriarchy. Oh wait, there's no men there. At least they get a pass on this one. Kind of. This here's another individual, Jody Shaw. It looks like she has legal and living expenses. She was trying to raise $150,000. She's up to $232,000. She quit her job at Smith College on February 19th, citing a racially hostile environment. Now, this is the first time we've heard about her. Jody Shaw, an employee of the Residential Life Department, resigned from the school on February 19th, citing a racially hostile environment. In October, she began speaking out against the anti-bias training programs and found a fervent YouTube following. I asked that Smith College stop reducing my personhood to a racial category. Stop telling me what I must think and feel about myself, she said. Stop presuming to know who I am or know what my culture is based upon my skin color. Stop asking me to project stereotypes and assumptions onto others based on their skin color. Stop demanding that I admit to white privilege and work on my so-called implicit bias as a condition of my continued employment. In her resignation letter, published on former New York Times editor Barry Weiss's Substack, Shaw said everything changed with Kanoute's accusations. Barry Weiss, call me. Having graduated from Smith College herself, Shaw said she loved her job, but the climate and my place at the college changed dramatically when, in July 2018, the culture war arrived at our campus when a student accused a white staff member of calling campus security on her because of racial bias. In spite of an independent investigation into the incident that found no evidence of racial bias, the college ramped up its initiatives aimed at dismantling the supposed racism that pervades the campus. This only served to support the now prevailing narrative that the incident had been racially motivated and that Smith's staff are racist. Interesting. We don't see anything here about an apology from Kanoute. Will that be forthcoming? Did it already happen and it just wasn't covered here? That's possible. Interesting how the college went forward with all of these programs, and when this was determined to be BS, are they going to stop? Are they going to say, oh, we don't need to do this training anymore because it's stupid, because it was based on a lie to begin with? Perhaps we need to look at other kinds of training. perhaps we need to make it mandatory that there be a course every single year that every student has to take. That means if you go through in 4 years, you have to take it 4 times, and it can be in 4 different ways. But you would need to take this class so that you stop using identity traits as a form of victimhood in order to gain clout. As I said, money, followers, and all of the other things that come along with these people that play these victimhood cards. How about we have everybody at this college and every other college take a course on basic decency, not being a scumbag, not being a victim, not being somebody who ruins other people's lives with lies. How hard is that? Is the college going to institute something like that? No, because once the woke train starts rolling down the tracks, you know how it is. It doesn't stop, it only gets worse. I certainly hope the college apologized profusely to those workers and compensated them well. As for her, she's so wrapped up in herself and her indignation, I doubt she can understand the trouble she caused. Future employees should beware. When I was in college 30 years ago, my friends and I were exploring a part of the campus that was off limits to students. We were quiet, peaceful. A security guard yelled at us to leave, so we did. All involved were white. We just laughed and went back to our dorms. Should I sue? Well, you just said you're white, so sorry. You can't, you're excluded. You can play the female card, or maybe got to work a little trans, ABCDFG community stuff into that. I hate losers like this. The damage they do. They just don't care. They don't get it. No one cares. Who cares how many lives have to be ruined so I can get something? That's their mentality. That's all I've got, everybody. To those who forever have their lives forever changed by these hoaxes, I don't know how they would feel. I don't know what kind of damage that would do to me as a person if something like that ever happened to me. I'm sure there will come a time in the future, said as the snowball continues to roll downhill, that it'll happen to me, that I'll get blamed for something based on my own identity, so we'll see how I handle it. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. Take care, and if you're out there, don't be an asshole to your fellow Americans. Is that too much to ask? Just think about the potential impact you can have on them due to your behavior and your conduct. Thanks for watching everybody. Be well.